W²AV Talk with Demetris Curry. Here's your gateway to discovering the formula to a more gratifying life with the accountability you need to start and stay energized, inspired, and on top. Author and wealth strategist Demetris Curry is a nationally leading voice and go-to authority on insurance and financial literacy. Got questions about your finances, relationships, healthy living, or professional life? W²AV talks about it all, along with tips to enhance your overall well-being. W²AV Talk with Demetris Curry.
Hello, everybody. This is Demetris Curry coming to you with W²AV Talk Authors Unite. Guess what? We have yet another amazing author with us today, and I'm just so excited to have Kenya here with us today. You know, why Authors Unite came about? Let me tell you, we actually decided that we want to get to know the author behind the book of work. What prompted them to bring this information to the forefront? Why you want to tell your story? What bit of profit information can you bring out that we can use and to better our lives and spirit and in health and in finance and education and so many genres. But I have to tell you, when I had the opportunity to meet Miss Kenya, it was just completely life-changing. And I'm so excited to have met her and the opportunity to talk more with her. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to bring her on here, Miss Kenya Zandrowicz. I just want to make sure I said that name right. I told her, I said, look, make sure I say my name right now, okay? She is coming on with us. Kenya, are you there?
I am here. Thank you so much.
I'm excited. I'm just hollering over here because I said she's teaching me how to go from one place to my Zen. I'm like, let me get to my Zen. So I'm excited that we're working together in so many different arenas. But I'm honored that you are here with us today to talk about, you know, what's going on behind the scenes of an author, of a, you know, as a coach and so many hats that you wear. I just want to give you the floor and tell us more about you and what made you bring all these beautiful books of work to the forefront.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Demetrius, for allowing me onto this platform. I know you know, we have been trying to get to this point for quite some time, and you wear many hats. So please, you know, I know you're talking about me over here, but I see the magic that you do over there. And so for me right now, you know, I am the author of 2 published works, which is Breakthroughs Volume 1 and Breakthroughs Volume 2. I'm currently working on Breakthroughs Volume 3, which will consist of the whole going from A to Zen process that you spoke of earlier.
Yes.
And, you know, I've been using meditation in my life for quite some time, and life has truly been the biggest teacher for me in becoming who I am. And based on that, I just felt that there were things in my life that I see so many others going through. Yeah. And I was able to make it through those things. And so if I can offer information, if I can offer energy, if I can show you that, you know, you can get through anything, let's figure it out. Let's work through it. Let's get you from A and let's get you to Zen in your entire life. So that's kind of how it all encompasses, you know, it all kind of comes together.
I'm gonna tell you that A to Z is a journey.
There are 26 letters in the alphabet for a reason. Okay.
Exactly. I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, 26 chapters of getting through this A to Zen, and I'm like, you know, I don't know where I am in this A to Zen. I'm still working it out, you know. But oh my goodness, it seemed like it's part of a daily, you know.
It is.
It is, right? It's something you have to try at daily.
Yes, right? It is. And, you know, we're all human, and things happen in your life and people might respond to you and trigger you where you're like, okay, I'm human. And the human you wants to respond, right? But, you know, sometimes the human us is not exactly the best person to have in the forefront when dealing with situations. And we have to learn how to center ourselves and be very mindful of what's going to come next, because our response is truly the one that determines the outcome. And so I've had to learn how to remember that in dealing with my personal life, and dealing with my professional life, and dealing with my health, and dealing with my finances. That's where you come in, girl. I'm so glad I met you. But it's just, it's an ongoing thing. And really the purpose of going from A to Zen, and the purpose of the books that I have, it's just to remind you to bring yourself back to center. It's just to remind you that you are the captain of your ship, and to help you navigate through those emotional waters.
You sound like you're talking from experience, Kenya. And you've been through some things. And, I had this post I said earlier today. I said, I've been through some things. I'm not afraid to say it. And you have to be able to be transparent when you're working with other people, and trying to explain to them that this is not your stopping point. This is not where all is all. This is not it. It may seem hard. It may not feel good, but it doesn't mean that this is it. There's other things that we can do to get you over that hump, and to get you to the next place in life. Right. Yeah. I'm learning some things from you, girl.
Oh, I appreciate it. Now, I love teaching, but I also, I have the philosophy where you're always either the student or the teacher. So I know when to be quiet and listen. I learn from everybody that I encounter. And you very well know, we've had, conversations outside of this realm right here. And there are times when it's like you're leading the floor, and trust me, I'm taking notes, and, vice versa. So life really is about evolving and becoming a better version of who we envision ourselves to be, not what others think we should be, but who we envision ourselves to be.
Now, I know that we're talking about you behind the book, but your breakthroughs, volume 2, how to window shop to your desired life. I love that title.
Thank you.
Of how to window shop, because we all window shop, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But you know what to shop for.
Well, so that particular book and title stemmed from, I come from the realm of entertainment and fashion. I've been involved in fashion and entertainment for over 25 years. And so I wanted to find a way to take what it was that I knew and kind of apply it to teaching others something new. And the whole term manifesting, right? It gets thrown out there and people are manifesting, and it was just being used and used and used and used and used. But I found, and this is even with myself, right? It's like you want to sit there and you say, I want this, nothing's coming, right? So why is that?
Right.
And I wanted to give people that extra step that a lot of people miss, but I wanted to deliver it in a way that I felt as though they could comprehend. And so we all shop, and we all go look, and we all window shop, and we look at something, and you might want it, and you look at the price tag, and you don't have enough to attain it, but you know what it's going to cost. So that means you have to go do the work, save your money, you go back and you buy it. Those are the steps to attain it. You know you're going to have it, but you got to take the steps to attain it. So when it comes to manifesting or bringing things into fruition, yes, you want it. You have to do the work.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
This teaches you, this particular book teaches you how to live the life as if you have it. Prepare yourself for its arrival. Take the steps for it to come. If you want a house, a particular type of house, you know it's going to cost a certain amount of money, but you know your credit's not right. You know the bank's not going to give you the money because your credit's not right. You know the money's not going to hit your bank account if you don't have a bank account, because you don't have the bank account because your credit's not right. So you have to start somewhere and take the steps to prepare for the things that you want to come into your life.
I love
so that's what that particular book is all about.
Yeah, I love that. You do a step by step. Hello, you can't have this if you don't have that, but if you want that, you got to do this, and all of these things that you throw into it, and that falls right in line with what I do in finance and lending and things of that nature, right? Because all of it is sequential order steps to
Yes.
get you to where you're
Yes.
trying to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. That
Mm-hmm.
falls right in line. I guess that I have to use that in some of the areas of relaxation. Because when you're running businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you and I both are very guilty
Wait,
of
wait, wait. Say that again. When you run in what?
businesses.
Says. That's right, girl. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, I know you.
You're running businesses, you know that you have to sort of create some balance
Mm-hmm.
of making sure everything is running exactly the way you want them to run, at least to the point where they're profitable, right? And then you can grow from there and create things
Right.
from there. But all of those things take steps.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
And when you're taking those steps, you're not thinking about the fact that you don't have it. You know you're working to attain it. So all you're thinking about is when you're going to have it. So
Mm,
you're keeping that in mind rather than thinking I'm less than and I don't have. You're focused on I'm going to have this. And you're working because you know you're going to have it. And it just opens up so many more opportunities that'll come your way for you to actually attain what it is that you're looking to have.
So one of the things that you could use this for, and I'm thinking myself in health when we're talking about this, I'm thinking about health because as you know, I had some injuries, and so we had
Correct.
to get into getting back to our normal and things of that nature.
Right.
The steps that it takes to get your body back in line, whoo, that sort of questions. Are you really thinking about your health? Are you really thinking about what it's going to take? Are you going to be patient with your body to get it there? Because that's
Mhm.
also part of the steps of being patient. And so I had to learn that within myself when we were talking
Yes.
about steps. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it can be frustrating when you're used to moving a certain way and doing certain things, and then you're limited. And
Mm-hmm.
that in itself is a mental battle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Between you and your physical.
Yeah.
And so, you know what your body is capable of. And sometimes you having to sit down means you're just supposed to sit down for a little while.
I don't know about that now.
And then you sit down for yes, ma'am. Sometimes you got to be seated and you really do have to assess where you are.
Yeah.
And we fight it and we don't do it. And
Right.
things will happen in our lives that will say, you know what, you're not doing it on your own. Let me help you out. I'm going to sit you down for a little while.
Oh, don't say that.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Don't say that. I heard someone say that. They're like, if you don't sit down, he'll make you sit down if
Hmm.
you don't do it after a while.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. But at the same time, I still have to stay connected. So you know how that goes, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
we have so much work to do. One of the things that I wanted to do is find out more about your relaxation meditations that you offer and how to utilize them in my life as well as the audience. I'm not just here for me, guys. I'm here for you guys too. Okay. At the same time, I'm like, oh, I've seen so much of your work. I've read so much of your information out there, and I was like, I want to try that. I don't want to try that. I don't want to try that. So, what would you say would be just the starting point of learning to, getting your mind more
Mhm.
relaxed? Get into that Zen. We're not to the Zen. We're at the ABC area, right? But we're
Right.
trying to get all the way to the Z through the 26 chapters. What are we doing? We're just starting out.
So I think the first thing to do is to not think that you're supposed to sit there and go, oh, and everything's quiet. Because if you're not used to that particular life and you don't know how to quiet the mind, you're going to have so many different things that are coming up and chattering. And then you're going to think, okay, be quiet. Don't, I don't want to hear that. But in actuality, when you do sit and you are quiet, if that's how you choose to meditate and get into that zone, the questions that you have, ask them, let them flow. Think about them, because then you'll get the answer and then you can just allow it to move on. Or you can actually just tell yourself, that's a question I have. Let me write that down for later. And then it goes away. So each time one pops up, you can determine if you would like to ponder on it or
Mhm.
if you want to just save it for later. And, I get into a zone when I'm washing dishes. I get into a zone when I'm cleaning. I get into a zone when I'm reading. I get into a zone when I'm walking. I just found a way to find some sort of peace in my doing, because the reward is the completion of whatever it is that I'm doing. And so for a lot of people, it is when you know you have a couple of dishes you got to wash. How many times have you gone, oh my God, I got to wash those dishes. I don't want to wash those dishes.
Too, but you know it has to be done.
But you know it has to be done. So I think about how good it's going to be when they're clean. I think about how good that warm water is going to feel on my hands. I think about a time when I did not have warm water, and I become grateful.
There you go.
And so it's just a matter of learning how to be mindful of the energy that you're putting into whatever it is that you're doing, or however you're choosing to bring yourself into a sense of calm. And it's finding something good within it. And being okay. The first thing is being okay with sitting there with yourself and being quiet. Learn to like yourself. Learn to be okay with, ooh, I messed up.
Yes.
Learn to be okay with giving something a try. So for those who are just now starting out in the world of meditation, my advice to them would be learn to be okay with yourself, by yourself, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Do that first. Sit there and just kind of sit there quietly.
Yeah.
And if you're uneasy with that, then sit there a little bit longer.
And you know that where I find my peace at, and my husband laughs at me all the time when I talk to him about this, is water. Whether it be me listening to water, walking around ponds, laying into a bathtub, or taking a long shower. For some reason, when water is in the midst of me, I get the calmness of being able to just be quiet and listen and talk to myself, and answer my own questions and say, that's an epiphany. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yeah. That's my time frame. So I know that at least a couple times a week, I got to get near some water. To just, relax a little bit. And, sometimes we get so fast into our days that we just jump in, jump out, wash the dishes, keep going it out. But you have to also take that time to just, get it all the way through a little bit more time than normal.
Yes. And, I've been on this, in this space of what I call neutrality in my own life. And learning to not allow my emotions to go too far left or too far right. And when I do that, I'm able to remain in that state of calm, regardless of what is going on around me. Life is going to happen, things are going to happen, and some things and most things are out of your control, but your response is totally on you.
Right.
So learning to be in that state has definitely been something that I've been working on over the past 8 weeks or so.
Gotcha.
And it has transformed my life even more so, being able to get in that space. There are a lot less situations where I feel triggered emotionally because of it. There are a lot less misunderstandings. There are a lot less arguments. There's just a lot less drama overall in and around my life. Taking that particular stance with certain things, being aware of things that are going on around me. I'm not, I'm not immune to the things that are happening in the world and that are around me. But there are some things where if there's something that I can do to make it better, I will do that. If there is not, then I have to give my well wishes and I'll just pray that things get better.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. Makes plenty of sense. And we have to find that for ourselves, right? We have to find this particular year for me has been the year of balance. Each year I always give myself a word of the year to try to obtain. And so this year is my year of balance. And I was like, you know what? I need to balance that out. I'm putting a little bit more time on spending time with the kid, spending a little bit more time with the family, spending a little bit more time on self-care. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And that self-care can just be, nope, I'm off this weekend. I'm not answering the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be part of that self-care, right? And
Yeah.
learning those balances, and sometimes it's difficult to do that as a business owner, as you know.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes,
you have to
definitely.
make that extra effort.
I would have to say for me, one of, if I had to put the past year into a word, it's going to be clarity for me.
Mm.
I'm learning, I'm learning to really allow more clarity into my life as far as what really is, and accepting what is, and accepting what I know that I can change. And,
Yes.
gaining more clarity about myself. Who am I? What do I really want? What am I chasing? Nothing, because I'm not chasing anything anymore. I'm just, I refuse to chase this version of myself that I did not create. I just decide to be who I am
Mm-hmm.
based on who I know I can be. And I just leave it at that. And that was something I had to remain very clear on.
Mm.
So for me, it's been clarity. It
Mm.
truly had, truly, truly had.
Clarity is one of those things that can make or break you. Uh,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
okay, is that really me, or is that who I've always been because I had to be?
Hmm.
Or was that really me? And you have to
Yes.
figure out that part.
Yes.
So the clarity part is not just, okay, I'm gonna be clear, I'm not doing that. No, is was that really my spirit?
Yeah.
Was that really me? Or was that just because I've always done that, or I've always seen that, or I
Hmm.
always was expected to do that? And
That part. Yes. And then,
yeah.
I found in the past that I was always chasing this version of, like I said, of me that wasn't even created by me, a picture that I didn't even paint, this
Gotcha.
portrait of my life that had about 50 other hands holding the brush, and
Right.
every time I would hit a goal, I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's me, right? Like I'm not happy yet. I'm not, because it wasn't what I really wanted. It was just what people thought that I could do, and I could do it. So I
Right.
did it.
Right. Right. But one of the things I love to when I talk to clients about their finances and we talk about what their goals are, I always tell them about creating a vision of a blank canvas,
Hmm.
because on that blank canvas you have all the rights to do whatever
Hmm.
to it you want to do to it. You can put your hands inside of the paint and press it against the canvas. You can use straight lines, you can use shadows, you can use bright colors, dull colors, you can use just pencil, whatever you decide you want to do to this particular canvas. You can color your entire portrait
Yeah.
where you want it to appear, right?
Yeah.
And so if you want to be a bright, shining star in your finances, and you got this goal and that goal and that goal, hey, then you have the ability to put that all in your canvas, right?
Hmm.
But if hey, I don't want to do all of that, I just want to soar and just relax and soothe and put one or two things to the side and just be a little secure, not really trying to build a big generational wealth, but just a little bit to feel comfortable when I
Hmm.
do retire. That's a totally different calmness of colors that you can go
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
put into that canvas. And so
Yeah.
I love to talk to them about that. And we look at, their existing portfolio, and I give them an idea of how aggressive they are. And that's a bright red aggressive over there, girl. You got going on, you know what I mean? But do you really want to be that aggressive? I'm not sure. Okay, are you okay with it? If you okay with it, I'm okay with it. So you have that, and it's a good teachable moment to talk to people about, choosing their lifestyles and choosing, where they want to be in life, and figuring out who they are in their
Hmm.
finances, and figuring out who they are in their health, and figuring out who they are in clarity and
Hmm.
in their balance. All of that
Hmm.
can be used exactly the same way. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So tell us what's going on next. What is next besides volume 3?
Ooh.
what
Um,
what's going on next in your life?
well, currently, with the whole meditation practice, right now I am partnering with a pottery studio in Charlotte. And we are doing the Go From A to Zen process and creating your own pottery. And so there's a technical teaching aspect of it that the woman that I'm partnering with, her name is Ella, she is actually going to be the one teaching that part. But I am there when I am assisting them in getting into that zone, that Zen, right? Where they're taking this mold of clay and they're molding it and they're manifesting it and they're bringing whatever that creation is that they envisioned into reality. And so the goal is to take that same process outside of the studio. You take it home with you. So the words that I'm speaking and what I'm teaching, you can actually look at your piece of work that you created and be reminded of the process of finding your space and finding your zone and creating and releasing some of that energy, and just creating something good from it, whatever that energy is. So
Wow.
I have that coming up, and my goal is to take the Go From A to Zen process and apply it to other aspects of different things. It can be painting, it can be writing,
Yeah.
it can be creating jewelry. Like I create jewelry, so I tend to go into a zone when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Um, so outside of growing the whole Go From A to Zen, and of course offering, my sessions, that'll be coming up this year. So I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, there's the television network. We are doing some amazing things on Indie Central TV, one of
Mm-hmm.
which will be bringing your show to the network at some point. Um, so we're growing there, when it comes to that part of it. The magazine, it's doing great. What else? What else? Getting back
Business
in.
says, like we.
And of course, there's the yes says there's the event planning aspect of it. So we have a couple of venues that we are working very closely with, and I had been doing event planning and production and all of those things for quite some time. Pandemic hit, you take a little bit of a break, things open back up, and your phone starts ringing again. And so there's that side of it. And then I have my skincare line, my all natural skincare line that I've been working on. I just turned 50. And a lot of people always ask, what do you use on your skin? What do you do? And so, I haven't put soap on my face in over 25 years. And
Wow.
so what I did was the recipe that I use for my own skin, I now offer it out there. And that's scary, right? It's like, oh, she's doing this, oh, she's doing that. Look at her, she's not fearful. What? Like it's just moving beyond the
Yeah.
fear and just doing, right? If I let my mind take over, it might talk me out of some stuff.
Right. Right.
So I'm happy when I'm creating, and
Yeah.
I love to create and I love to help others create.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's no such thing that the fear is not there. It's just that you're using the fear to push forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I know.
I right.
I'm like, some of the things that I've taken on in the past, I'm like, what was I thinking?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
But then things happened and it went well and it blew up and here we are, right?
Hmm.
And so,
Yep.
yeah, that is amazing. Speaking of the vet move, tell me more about this farm you're running. Because
Oh
you,
my gosh. So
when
I
you first told me you had a farm, I said, huh?
okay, so I am a city girl and I'm every bit of a city girl. Born and raised Baltimore, Maryland, even when I was living in New York for a little while, lived in Charlotte for, so many years, lived in Atlanta for so many years. And, my husband has always had this vision of living on land, and so for me, I fought it. I fought it, fought it, fought it. And then finally, the pandemic hit and it was like, oh my God, I got to try some new things, because just the uncertainty, right?
Right, right.
So we moved on to a 68-acre farm and I love it. Like I'm planting fruits and vegetables and there are cows and we're getting chickens in April.
Wow.
So, the goal, of course, is to have our own vast land. Right now, we have the opportunity to be here on the 68 acres and experience it all, right? It's a great way to get my feet wet, there are pastures. I don't have to cut down no trees. I don't have to build no houses, I don't have to, there's just things that I don't have to do. But, we get to fish out of the ponds and then cook it. So, it's just this whole new life. And what I will say is bugs on the farm are bigger. And that's still taking me, when I see moths that look like this size right here, that takes some getting used to.
Right.
So I love it though. It's totally unexpected. And it has added to my going from A to Zen process, because I know that this is truly what is helping me deliver my messages better, where I can connect with more people. This is my sanctuary, and it puts me in a place where I'm more into nature, I'm understanding nature, and I'm able to project that more.
Yeah, when you said moth that big, I'm like, I don't know now.
And it was funny because he was getting green beans out of the garden. And I'm standing there with my little garden boots on, right? I'm all cute and everything, and I'm holding the little bag for him to put them in. And he's picking, and I look and I see something moving. And I look again, and I'm like, what is that? And he goes, oh, that's a moth. All you saw was the soles of my garden boots out the garden, and the bag was right there. I see you at the house.
Pew.
Done.
She like, I'm out of here. No. Oh my goodness. Because for me, I'm thinking big bees and, bumblebees is bigger, all that kind of stuff. The cows, cows bring in the biggest flies ever. And so like,
it's not that bad.
Really?
It's really not that bad. No. What will get you is the weaning process, when you have to take the calves and remove them from their moms. It's not one calf at a time that gets done here on the farm. It's about 4 to 6. So you hear at night what sounds like death, and something is in the woods dying. Okay. So I go back to every horror film you could ever think of. The first time I heard it, and now I hear it, and I'm like, what is that? And so my husband is like, we're interracial relationship, So he's like, I don't know, babe, go see.
Yeah. Did you forget who you married?
Exactly. So I get close to the window, right? And we're listening, and it's dark, out there, so I can't see anything. And this mosquito hawk jumped up on the screen. You talk about somebody that screamed and ran, because it was a mosquito hawk, right? But to me, it looked like Freddy Krueger's hand. So after getting over that, that's when we started calling, and they were like, it's the cows being weaned. That's what happens. Okay. And it sounds like somebody's getting murdered out there, because the babies are crying for their mom, and the moms are bellowing for their babies.
Oh, okay.
You would think I would know that, being a mom, but I did not know that. That was if death had a sound, that was it.
Yeah, it would have scared me too. It definitely would have scared me too. When you said you went from city life to being on a farm, I was like, you did? And loving it though. But you have learned how to create that A to Zen, baby, through all of that. Right?
When hey, I'm in love. I figured I'd give it a shot. This is one thing that I hadn't experienced in this magnitude. Like younger, I used to ride horses. My dad owned a stable. So I got a taste of it. And even then I was just like, I don't like it because my dad wants me to like it. You're just rebelling, right? Right. But I was good at it. But then, you go into the city. I'm never going back to the farm life. And then, here I am. And I think my dad, he says it all the time. He was like, see, I knew you had it in you.
Like, I told you so. I told
you. Basically.
Oh my God. I'm so glad that we had a chance to pull this together today. It took us a while to get all together with everything, but I'm so glad. Our schedules are crazy.
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Your businesses and mine. We were just like, how are we going to get this together? But finally got a chance to pull together and talk. I'm so
Yes.
glad that you came by to talk to us about where to begin and how you got started in creating your A to Zen, and just getting to know the person behind the wonderful books of work.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, I have them here. It would not be great unless, and
Hey,
they are an easy read. I call them coffee table books because it does not take long to get through them, but
right,
you can always go back to them. And my magazine is designed the same way. Each magazine is full of information that you can use over and over and over again. They're not the ones that you want to cut up and, let your kids use on a project. They are the ones that they're full of information that, can be used for years and years and years to come.
that's
So
so funny. I just told my son to throw out all those crazy magazines that he had in his room from his last project. That's why
see,
I'm laughing about it. Oh my goodness. What tell us where we can find all of your work, okay?
you can go to my personal website, which is Kenya Zandrowicz. That's ZANDROWICZ.com. Everything is there: the radio show, the magazine, the shops, the products, the information, booking your sessions. All of those things are made available through my website.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we'll make sure to attach all that information onto this episode for you as well. So for
I
anyone,
appreciate that so
you're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. So, once again, guys, we have had a fantastic time today with Miss Kenya. I tell you, she has so much knowledge, such a wealth of knowledge, and how to get yourself from A to Zen, meditation, how to make sure that you're able to create clarity and balance in your life. And so, we're just honored that we've had the opportunity to talk with her today and bring her forth and talk about her wonderful books of work. Make sure you go to her website, look at everything that she has to offer, and get you something that can help you get from that A to Zen. Thank you so much for joining us on W²AV Talk Authors Unite. We will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to W²AV Talk with author and wealth strategist Demetris Curry. Connect with Demetris at demetriscurry.com and subscribe to the Demetris Curry YouTube channel today.